Okay, and this is the second video of the Molander-Korchnoi game. White has just played rook a to f8, so no, black has played. This was the last move, and now black is threatening a lot of things on the f-file. He has a strong control there. He has some ideas at some point, moving the knight somewhere and opening the rank to the queen. So the queen is a little bit offside at the moment. It can't really move on this diagonal because the knight is taking care of those squares, and there's always the threat that the knight will simply jump somewhere and the queen is attacked, and maybe the knight can then do some damage to White's position. Let's see forward. White actually played a mistake here, but let's look at some moves. For example, g3 enters some very tactical lines where black's best is just take the pawn, which is there, but it's not so simple because now White has this trick of knight takes d5. So the point is that this knight is weak, and actually in many positions, many variations, this is the point that knight moving will allow this bishop to attack and the queen to attack. So if the bishop would be able to take here, White will be attacking the queen and rook, and this will be excellent for White, of course. Also, some tricks are that even if this knight is better protected, White has the idea of taking on h7, which is a check, of course, and then he will be threatening with the rook on the knight. Okay. Having said how great move knight d5 is, black can actually answer with a quite cool move. I don't know. I didn't see this at first. I didn't even consider it, but having seen it, of course, it's a great idea in this position, because White has opened this diagonal. This knight can be easily pinned, and black uses two pins here, this pin and the pin on the knight to the king by playing bishop c6. So this is quite something. What is going to happen here? This is quite insanity here. So White has options. He can exchange on f2 or take on c6, and both are quite hairy lines, but I will just show you an example of this line taking here, because that will open black the opportunity to take on b2, and then he will have the second rank, and the king will start to look very, very weak for White. So this happens. Of course, White wins some material. He has this nice check of knight takes c7. Black will just dodge, exchanges, and bishop c2, because frankly at this position, as black has taken this rank, there is little to be done to defend without giving back material. So bishop c2 does just that. Black just calmly takes it, and White has to sacrifice the queen, otherwise there will be mate. Okay, so this happens, and then he takes the rook, and in this position, after black plays some move like h6 or g6, he will simply win the position because he has the queen against the rook and the knight. Mind you, it might take some work, but black is winning. Okay, so that is one possibility. Another possibility after is rook takes f2 in this position. Rook takes f2, and then black plays takes on d5 with a check. So rook goes here on g2, and now actually the best move is knight to b3. This further limits, well, it doesn't limit much more the queen's position, but it allows black's queen to enter on f2, or the rook to enter on f2 and then attack here. It takes the knight away from its weak square on d4, and this rook is extremely weak, of course, in this position. One of the nice points about knight b3 is that if white tries this bishop b4 move, then just knight c5 forks the queen and the bishop, and black will win this easily. Okay, so that is that variation. So G3 is not really very good because of this variation. There are other moves instead of knight takes d5, but then black has just won a pawn on f2, and I think he is doing quite well. Okay, so instead of g3, a better move is rook to b1 in this position. Rook to b1, and the main point, this is actually I wouldn't have even considered this move, but this is a computer move. But the point is that now white is breaking this pin because the bishop is supported, so that is a great thing for white, and it's a very illogical move for a human to play, but that is something the computer wants to play. So I think white can survive in these positions maybe, but black still has the upper hand. Best move is rook takes f2, as I understand. Exchanges, again white has the trick of knight takes d5, taking d4, exchanges, and yeah, black is a little bit better, but I think white might survive in this position because of this kind of rooks and bishop pair positions tend to be difficult to win, even if black wins the pawn, because black's position is not that rock solid, meaning that black's pawns are not so firm. They might be weak. He does have the a pawn after he wins this very weak pawn here, but he might run into some problems, maybe on the c file, or maybe some issues with this pawn being weak and this pawn then being very weak. So it's not a clear-cut case. Black has the advantage, but will he win? Who knows? Okay, but in the game, after rook a to f8, white played bishop c1, which turned out to be a mistake because of knight e2, making this threat. And the key point is, of course, that if white takes on f4, black has knight takes c3, which forks the queen and the rook, and black will end up being better in those positions. Okay, so white answers queen c2 and instead of taking, and black takes the bishop out. So now black is very ready to act on the f file, and once he does so, he will have a very nice position. Also note that a3 pawn is weak. Okay, white grabs a pawn in the middle, black dodges, white recaptures the knight, which took the bishop. There are exchanges on f2, and basically black is so much better here. He might have some tricks on the back rank because this king is quite weak. He is white is having weak pawns. Black has the bishop pair, which is stronger than the knight and the bishop. Black has some issues with his king, but he's confident that he's on better attack, so he continues to push against white. Bishop g5, attacking the rook. White dodges, and now bishop e8. So now the poor French bishop, like I said, has waited on d7 a very long time, drops back to e8, and works on the queen side. White played knight e3, which is probably a mistake here. I know that black is just so much better here, so considering this move, bishop h5 just wins on the spot, because it attacks e2, and that will be too much for white to handle with the back-ranked issues. Okay, so that was my take. I think this was a great game by Korchnoi, and that's about it.